Okay, so let's try one last thing, because this drive is starting to hack me off. There's some stairs, let's give it a go. Let's move the camera around. 1, 2, 3. Hello and welcome back, and today I'm going to do a video that I've wanted to do for a great deal of time. I talk about NAS a lot on this channel, and I'll be honest, I talk a lot about these guys. These are Seagate, and they're a series of hard drives that are designed for NAS. Seagate Ironwolf series of NAS drives. Now, for those that have been following this channel for a while, you may have noticed they've been plugged a lot. Let's face it, I talk about a lot of different brands on this channel. Synology, QNAP, Asus, TerraMaster, WD, Seagate, Toshiba, all of those sort of brands out there, but I do give Seagate a lot of focus. And I know for a number of you out there, choosing the right hard drive for your NAS, your DAS, whatever situation you're using your device in, features a number of factors: RPM, warranty, cache, that sort of thing. But one real interesting point that Seagate have got with their Pro series of drives, alongside that 5 years of warranty and all that other guff, is that data recovery service, and I've talked about it on a number of videos. But for all of my talk about it, I've never really shown you guys what happens, because to be honest, this is a real interesting feature, data recovery included with a hard drive, and something that, you know, if you're a business user, you may have found out to your peril, can cost thousands and thousands of pounds. And the fact that Seagate are including this are a fantastically big deal. So what I wanted to do in today's series of videos is I've purchased a brand new 2 TB drive. You can see it's completely new, it's all in the sealed packaging. I'm going to open it up. Sorry about the noise on mic. And I'm going to connect this bad boy to this StarTech dock, rather than use it in a NAS with RAID and stuff like that. And I'm going to fill it with data. Then we're going to purge the drive. And by purging it, I'm going to basically break the drive. And then I'm going to send it to Seagate. And what we want to see is, one, what happens? What is the Seagate recovery process? But moreover, what happens? What do we get back? And will our data be recovered? So I've got about 50 gig of files here on this PC. I'm going to try and keep this as free-flowing as possible. So I'm going to use the screen recorder there. I'm going to try and keep the mic on as much as possible. Obviously, I'm not going to record everything. It will take forever. But I'll try and record as much as I can of this entire process to, one, keep it as the integrity of good as possible, but moreover, so it will answer all of your questions about recovery with these drives, whether it's worth the money and if it applies to you. So first things first, we're going to take this drive, and hopefully on camera, while this is connected to here, we're going to have the on-screen working alongside this. I can already hear the drive spinning up there on the side. I've waved it around a few times, which can't be good for it anyway. And while this works there, in the background, on screen, I'm going to go into that storage manager and get this drive added just as an external drive over USB. For those that aren't aware, hopefully this is on screen right now and I'm zipped here in the corner. We need to go into the manage area, and from here we go into the storage manager, and from the storage manager we can then access this drive. The storage manager will allow us to access this drive and just add it as an external drive on one of those drive letters, and then we'll start transferring that 50 gig of data. And as you can see, it has found the disk here. We're not going to use it as a master boot record, never have that option, because that's your boot disk. We're just using this as a basic standard disk. We're going to click OK, and this is a 2 TB Seagate Ironwolf Pro Series drive. And from here, it's already found it. We right click, we have a new simplified volume. We're going to click next. We're going to assign it the letter S, shall we? S for Seagate, maybe if I tap it correctly. Then we're going to move forward. We're going to call it Seagate Disk. We're going to use NTFS. We're going to perform just a quick format there in the background, and we're going to click Finish. That should be very quick and be ready very, very shortly. And then S should appear opening up as an available drive. And then I'm going to dump all of those files onto this disk. As you can see, it's now open. There's our Seagate Disk S. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. And I've opened it and clicked it way too many times. That's the screen recording software for you. And there is our 2 terabyte drive. Over here, we've got our files. Now for the future record, maybe later on we'll be referring back to this. we will go here and it will be 51.8 gigabytes. There we go. That is how much data we are dumping on this disk. We could fill it more, but we're just going to go for 50 gig of mixed files. And again, that is a number of files. There's 910 files on there in 33 folders. We've got everything. We've got CSVs, we have got PDFs, we've got MP4s, we've got photos, video, audio, WMAs, MKVs, we have everything. All different kinds of files, all here. We're going to right click, we're going to copy, we're going to go to our Seagate disk, and we're going to paste. Now I believe this is connected to a USB 2 port because all my USB 3s are on there, so this might take a little while, so I might fast forward the video. But what I've got you here while it does this on screen, it's worth mentioning some of the advantages and of course some of the disadvantages. Disadvantage first, of course, it's going to cost a little extra to have these data recovery services on a Pro disk. However, you can get the data recovery separate. You can buy a disk and then just add the recovery service to Seagate disk. You can buy the data recovery package separately, and so you buy little quantities of the storage and the media type, and all of those packages and those extra add-ons are available. You can even extend the recovery that you've already got on your disk. Now on top of that, the protection is multi-layered. The number of things that are protected is obviously just data deletion by error. So many times people delete stuff in error from a disk, and it is vitally important. Maybe it's mission critical for a business, maybe it's just photos of your kids, photos of family, irreplaceable data. So that's one thing that is covered. 2, virus protection. So many viruses completely corrode and destroy programs, destroy individual files, and are designed to be fantastically malicious. The data recovery can assist you in that. You will need a bit more information about the virus that has infected your host machine, and you will have to give information at the point of submitting a claim what the kind of protection you're trying to get back, and that's definitely something to touch on later on when we go ahead and start the recovery claim. Next, software corruption. All too often you have 2 kinds of software corruption. One, you have the software itself that with updates and port, and maybe you've shut down a machine and in the middle of an update installation it's completely bricked a machine. Or you have things like ransomware and malware that are designed to lock you out of your machine. You do have an element of protection against these to retrieve the files on that disk that are being blocked by that malicious software on an OS level. And of course, you can the OS that you're using, be it a NAS, which is what I'm focusing on outside of this, or just general PC, Mac, etc., etc., they will recover that data even behind what an OS wall or malicious software will prevent you from doing on a general point via a keyboard, video, mouse sort of basis. Finally, there's an element of protection against natural disasters. Now, of course, you still need the disks inside intact, and they have loads of fantastic case studies and examples of things with flooding and stuff like that. So do check those out. But there is protection from some elements of physical damage, which I'm hoping to go through a little bit more in this video. Now, I've spoken with Seagate before on this. They're not hugely aware of what I'm doing today, so I might be getting a lot of trouble. You may never see them on the channel again after this. But hopefully, a lot of the stuff that you're going to see when we go through the recovery process will be of interest to you. And do let me know in the comments if you've got any questions about this recovery process or stuff I may have missed, potentially for a future video. Now, it is also worth saying that this isn't the be-all end-all. There are alternatives to data recovery. Of course, you don't have to go for this. You can just pay some, bloke in the street to try and do data recovery for you. But what I will say is, 1, there are no guarantees in data recovery, and 2, you're going to spend a fortune. So do remember the distinction between data recovery that's included at this price level and what you get compared with the same or less data recovery for thousands and thousands of pounds. So don't just lump the drive inside a PC, run some 2-bit of software and go, oh, nothing we can do. They will completely disassemble a drive if they have to. They have got points at the manufacturer and at the plants where they tear these drives apart bit by bit to get to the disks inside and retrieve your data on a minuscule level. This isn't like running some freeware bit of software you've downloaded from a Google search and agreed to some toolbar on your browser in the hope of recovering some photo of an hex. This is a lot bigger than that, and business users need to take note. Finally, when you do submit your claim, Seagate do say that you can track your entire process on many levels from when you've submitted the drive all the way through the claim process until the drive gets back to you. The way you get your data back will depend on the kind of data and the size of data. In the case of this 2TB drive, I'm kind of expecting a USB drive back. But what I've been told in the past anyway is that if it's less than 200 megabytes, it will be an online portal where you can download your data. Anything greater than that, you're going to get a USB external disk, and if you're still under warranty coverage, get your drive back, either as a certified repair or a brand new drive. So what that means in real terms is you end up with a rescue recovery drive and a brand new drive together with it, depending on the severity of the damage. So do bear that in mind. But that's another one of the many reasons I've been looking forward to doing this test and going through this data recovery. But I don't think I'm going to talk much longer on this. The one thing I will add is you can submit your claim via the phone or phone number. They've got loads of call numbers for all over Europe and America. On top of that, you can also do the whole thing online if you choose. You don't have to speak to a human being. But, and you will need your serial number, of course. But nevertheless, what I'm going to do, because this transfer is taking a little longer, I'm just going to fast forward a little bit to the completion of this. Let's go. Right, so we've transferred over those files. We can right click there and we can take a look. And as we can see, 51.9 gigabytes of files on our Seagate disk. So we've got the data on there now. So we're going to do a few unconventional things right now. Now, I cannot stress this enough, and I can't believe I have to say this on camera, but let's give it a go. Don't do any of the things I'm going to do now. Just don't. If you're going to remove a drive, do it safely. Go to the bottom right click, safely remove hardware. Don't do this and just pull the drive out, because you can feel it whirring in your hand as the disks whir around inside that disk. That could have very potentially have damaged this disk, as might this have. Dropping a drive on a disk like that is probably not a great idea. They're not designed to be treated like that. Same thing goes with the disk itself. It's got that 51 gig of data. Maybe you're waving the drive around on camera like an absolute idiot, and then, oh no, you drop the drive on the ground. So now I've dropped this drive a bunch of times. Let's see if this runs. And what I am going to do is move the microphone closer to this drive, that drive right there. Pop it inside there, and let's bring that mic a little closer. Bring that closer there. And I'll be honest, that is rather annoying, you know. I mean, on the one hand, well done Seagate, your drive is still running there and it hasn't broken yet, even though I've chucked the drive around quite a lot. So let's go to the TV shows package. That's still got episodes from our Plex video that I've transferred over from the local PC. So we're just going to play a media file there. It probably won't play very well because I'm using capture and screen recording software, but it is still playing a file. So unfortunately, we still need to cause this drive a bit more damage, because I'll be honest, right now, this drive is somewhat humiliating me. Let's bring that mic back. And the mic's back in form there. Now, obviously, you shouldn't try this at home. And also, Seagate do not endorse you doing this. I mean, that's why I didn't tell them I'm doing it. So right, let's see if we've broken the drive this time. It's getting to a point soon where I might just throw the damn thing across the room. Right, let's bring it close again. Let's listen. Listen. Oh, we're not spinning up this time. We might be in trouble this time, everyone. Let's have a look. Bring them out again. We're not even getting movement of the discs. Let's try one more time. Oh no, we've got spin up that time. I mean, we've definitely caused damage. To what end? Getting a lot more clicks and whirs this time. And our disk is still loading up. Right, so now we're going to have to get physical. Let's try this. Are we still getting inside the disk? Yes, we are. Right, so while it's spinning those discs, let's get that out of there. Drive that. Once again, that is the serial number we're dealing with today. If you want to have a look at that on camera, it gives that a bit more focus. Hopefully you've made that out on camera. Try that out. Oh, that was a bad one. Let's give it one last look. I'm sure people in the building I'm sure people in the building are now wondering what that noise is. Give that one last whack. Fingers crossed. Let's try that again. Move the mic. Let's have a look on screen. We're getting a lot noisier drive. We're still accessing the contents of the drive, but we're getting a lot more noise this time around. Okay, now we're going to go for the big one. Right. That is a drive that we're breaking off camera now. Let's have a look here. Let's see if we can do something else. Let's give it a good hit. Maybe even scratch up the board. Right, let's give it another go. A lot more interference, and let's see on the screen, what are we going to see? And it's still loading. Right, once again Seagate, you've made a damn fine drive. I'm sorry about the interference there on moving of the mic. Now I think we're going to have to get savage. Right, so now we're getting annoyed. We've got a bowl of water, as you can see there on camera, nice bowl of water there, and we're just going to pop the drive in there for a while. We're just going to leave that there while we talk on camera. We're just going to get that circuit board nice and wet. And then we're just going to dab it and then stick it in there. Now, it is worth mentioning that when I went off camera there, I checked about what exactly is covered by water damage. They do recommend that if you do get a drive water damaged, that you try your best to keep it in the water that it's in for as long as possible. Because once you remove a drive from the water, it can get things like rust and other kind of damage, environmental damage over time. And obviously this is a tough thing to recover from, but given that I've smashed this drive around this room in some fantastically unconventional ways, I do think it's worth doing this as kind of final extreme. As you can see, we're making a wonderful hard drive soup there, just popping that in the water. I hope you can see that. We're just going to drop that, give it a few more minutes, and then we're going to pop this bad boy inside this. Now, I should mention this is a very old USB 2 StarTech drive reader, so there's a very good chance that I'm going to break this as well. So when that happens, don't fret. It was old. I've had it for a number of years, and it has survived a very long time. But I think we've given that enough time in there. And again, please don't try this at home. You know, just for luck, give it one more bang. Right, let's get this wet drive inside here. Let's bring that mic back, and I do apologise for any mic crackling that you've experienced during the course of this video. Put that there, bring that over. Let's have a look. Way more noise this time. And it's still working. This is becoming a fantastically annoying data recovery video. I'm going to kill this drive if it kills me. Let's carry on. Okay, so let's try one last thing, because this drive is starting to hack me off. There's some stairs. Let's give it a go. Let's move the camera around. 1, 2, 3. Right, if that drive survives that, I don't know what more to tell you guys. Because again, we could just take a hammer to this drive. We could just take a hammer to this drive, but we probably shouldn't, because that's not a real user case scenario. It is potential that people could just drop a drive like this, like so. But unfortunately, we still have to keep things at least moderately realistic. So let's get back into the room. Right, so we've submerged it in water, we've bashed it around, and now we've thrown it down a flight of stairs. Finally, please stop working. Let's go. Well, that sounds pretty bad. We're getting that? Let's move the mic closer. And the drive powered itself down. Let's do that one more time. Move that up. Oh no, let the power out go on. This spinning down. No, I think we may have killed the drive. Finally, it may be over for our hard drive. We've got a few little dents there from the drop. That stairs may have been the one. No, I think we've killed the drive. So now we've got our drive, but we want our 50 gig of data back. So why don't we make our way into the drive, the recovery software even, and start our claim procedure. I'm going to try to do as much. We're going to try to do as much of this as possible with this on screen. So we're still screen recording there. We're going to keep this drive here. And I'm going to fill out the online claim form for you guys at home. I'm probably going to skip forward at some point because it's going to be real dull. But let's move into Google Chrome. We've still got our screen recording software going, haven't we? So let's make our way into Chrome and start our recovery process. Once again, I do apologise for any microphone inconsistencies throughout this video, but it's been very hard to piece this all together and get all this done. I've only got the one mic there at spot for this, so I do apologise if the mic sound quality has dipped throughout this video. But let's go for Seagate Recovery. Let's just Google it. Straightforward. Let's go straight into Data Recovery Services with Seagate, and we're going to start our procedure. So I need help now. So we're going to go into, we want to submit a case for in-lab recovery. There's the URL you want to go to. No, we don't want to give you our opinion today, Seagate. And we're going to start submitting our case. Now, obviously, if this does ask for my address and stuff, I'm not going to put that on camera. That would be mental. But it is worth mentioning that I will try to make it abundantly clear that the serial number we're using today, I will include that on there. So our serial number ZDS0V4N0. Let's get that on camera. ZDS0V4N0. There's our serial number, and I'm going to fill out the majority of this form. It'll say where I live. It'll ask me for my location. Obviously, it's the United Kingdom. And then what I'm going to do is get this proceeded and go through this on screen as much as I can, but I probably can't show a lot because of the addresses. And then we'll make our way into the next area where we can find out what's going to happen with this drive. So let's go over here. What happened to your device? We're going to say that the drive has, can we do many of them? Let's see how many of these we can do. Drive is clicking, does not turn on again. Data is corrupted, data, water damage, fire damage. Let's go for drive is clicking. Let's face it, that's what it is doing. Is your data encrypted? No. Is there legal action involved? No. What's our name? Right. And I'm probably going to skip forward from this, but just to give you guys some idea, my name's Robert. Let's skip forward. Right, so we've submitted our form. I'm just making it go through the system now. I'm just going to pop that drive there because we're going to have to get ready to send that. And we're going to find out what exactly is the process for our recovery. As we can see there on screen, it's letting me know that, again, they're not making any payment here because it's included with that drive. And on top of that, it's just letting us know all the information and all the shipping label that we can now print for ourselves that give us information about where it's going to be collected from and where it's going to. Obviously, I'm collecting it here from my local office and getting it shipped to Seagate right now. So what I'm going to do is get this drive packaged up and labelled, and hopefully I'll have on screen me shipping the drive directly for you. Right, so with sending this drive back, don't get me wrong, of course you want to send this drive back as safely as possible, but Seagate are realists. And I had a look at their terms and conditions, and although they state that you should use a multi-layer selection of protection around your drive, you have to be slightly realistic about the fact that a lot of people don't have these sort of things ready and available to hand. So if you do still have the box that the drive was sent to you in, which is what I've got here, then I do recommend you use that. To keep this as ambiguous as possible, I've also ensured not to buy this drive from span.com. So the good thing is that this isn't even how they'd send the drive. I'm not going to name and shame the company that sent me the drive like this, but needless to say, don't ever receive a 3.5-inch hard drive just like this. I'm going to send the drive like this, but I'm also going to add a few layers of jiffy bags just to be on the safe side. Pop that there, remove the Synology cowl. Do that. I'm going to seal that first layer of protection. That there. There's that. And then I'm going to add another layer, just to be on the safe side. So again, they are realistic about the layers of protection that you need to use. I'm sorry about the crackling and stuff you can hear on camera. Put that there. Fold that over, and I think that should just about do it. So we've got quite a few layers of protection there. Bear in mind the amount of punishing damage I did to this drive earlier. And there's the front. Then we just need to attach that label there on the top, which is what I'm going to do. And then we're going to take this to a UPS collection point. Right, so here I am at the UPS drop-off point. I'm going to drop this drive off, and hopefully we'll get it back in, I believe it's 1 to 2 working weeks, or 14 days or 10 days. Should tell you more on the website. So hopefully this will all be one video, or maybe I've sliced it in half for a cliffhanger. So let's get this stripped off.